Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today I'm talking about something that I did approximately this time last year, but sort of reimagining it. So for 2026, I am planning to go no buy again. I did this and I made a video about it and I talked about the experience after I did it for the first time last year. Now in 2025, I did January and February completely no buy, except I sort of did it all wrong in a way, and it just ended up being really stressful and really hard, and I didn't enjoy it very much. Like I did, but I didn't, you know. If you want all the details, go and watch the video of me talking about it back then. But this time, for about the first 6 months, I think, I'm giving myself 6 months of 2026. So yes, this has already started. This video is a little bit late in coming out. Apologies. But for the first 6 months, I'm planning to go no buy, but a little bit differently than how I did last time. I'm going in prepared, I'm ready, and I want to talk about it with you guys. So like I said last time, oh hello, a cat has joined me. Like I said last time, I did it for January and February only because I wanted to see how it felt, how it worked, and whether it was actually like something that was achievable for me. And it was. I did save a whole bunch of money, but because I was so strict on myself and it ended up just being so confusing and hard that by the end of those 2 months, or at the end of those 2 months, I was like, oh my god, I've got all this money now, I'm just gonna go and spend it. So a lot of it, not all of it, but a lot of it did get wasted. So that's my first thing, is I'm doing this for a more extended period of time this time around. So I'm doing January to about June. Now obviously this is not going to count for our trip to Japan. We are going to Japan in May, and I'm not going to go all the way to another country just to go, I can't buy anything, I'm doing no buy. But there will be restrictions, you know. I'm not going to go crazy, but I am going to enjoy myself and get myself mementos and things like that. So Japan does not count. Now, I don't know exactly how this is going to go, but I do sort of have some, we're not calling them rules, we're calling them guidelines this time. So basically I know a lot of people are going to be asking why I choose to do this and why people choose to do this. I have something in my eye. And I can't speak for everybody else, obviously, but I can speak for myself. And for last time, it was because I wanted to save money, I was wasting money, but I really wanted to just kind of accrue savings and be able to afford a couple of things. This time it is because, again, my spending has gotten a little bit out of control. Hello, bubby. And I need to learn to spend a lot more responsibly. Now, also, I've mentioned it a million times on this channel, my husband and I are trying to buy a house here in Australia, so this time the savings is not just because I want it, it's because it has places to go. I have needs. We want to buy a house, and if we do buy a house, we're going to need furniture, we're going to need to be able to pay bills and things like that. So this time there is a lot bigger purpose behind it, more than initially learning to handle my money a bit more responsibly than I do currently. So this time, to make it better, I brought things beforehand. So not like in bulk or went crazy spending or anything like that, but one of the things I faced last time was I didn't pre-plan for events that I knew were going to happen in the time period that I was not spending. So like last year, or every year, my husband's birthday is in January, and I did not prep anything. I didn't think about anything. So when I got to my no buy phase of, oh my god, I have to buy him a Christmas present, I want to take him out to dinner, I'm supposed to not spend money this month, it just became very heavy and very like blame worthy. I was really harsh on myself for it. So this time I prepped in advance. I have brought his birthday presents, they're all done, and just little things like that. Obviously I can't do that for every birthday present and every event that's going to happen in the first 6 months of this year, but to take a little bit of that immediate stress off, I've made sure that things like that are covered this time. I have what I know I'm going to need for about the first month or two, especially since obviously I have taken some time off work. We went to New Zealand, blah 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 blah. Your girl is a little bit skint on money until the pay keeps coming back in. So we're prepped, we're ready, we can get by for the first month or two, and that was sort of what I wanted. I didn't want anything to creep up on me like it did last time, because that's what caused the stress. So something I am doing currently is making lists of everything that I have in specific categories, because my no buy this time is not just a blanket no buy, it's not a don't buy anything ever like it was last time. I'm doing it a little bit differently to kind of ease myself into it in a way, but also not be so strict that I feel like I'm suffocating myself. So my lists and my categories that I am not buying anything in currently are clothing, because that is where I waste the most money. I love to buy clothes. I love to think I'm going to wear clothes, and I have gotten better at this, but I've curated my closet very recently. I've been posting it on TikTok, me going through everything and sorting what I'm going to keep and what I've given away and donated, and I just don't need any more clothes right now. So I'm going to make sure for this first 6 months that I only buy what I really, really need. Like, I do have a couple of little items that I want to go and pick up because I genuinely don't own any, but I'm making sure that I'm wearing everything that's in my closet, and anything that I'm not wearing is going to go, I am going to donate it. So I'm paying real good attention. I have a list written out of everything that I own, and I will be ticking it off as I wear each of those items to make sure that they're getting used. My other categories for things that I'm going to treat the exact same way is books. Love my books, have too many that I need to actually read. I don't need to buy any more. Same thing with video games and board games. We love games in this house, but we just don't really get a lot of time together to use them or play them, so it's important that I'm playing what I have and not just buying more stuff that's going to sit around unused. My last really big one at the moment is craft supplies. I have this like big storage drawer back here. That's more craft supplies than I ever thought I was going to get, and I did go a little bit crazy, so I'm just going to make sure that I'm using up what is in that little crate back there and not buying anything new unless I like desperately need it and I can't make it in some way with the supplies that I already have. I'm definitely calming down on the amount of crafts that I'm doing, so I don't need to be bringing any more supplies into this house probably almost ever at this point. So yeah, I think those are my 4 big categories this time. It's clothing, crafts, books, games, but then there's also things like skin and hair care that I will only be buying when what I'm using has run out. Same with makeup. I don't wear makeup very often at all. I do my eyebrows every day, and that's literally pretty much it, so there's no reason for me to be buying any makeup. I will not be extending this to jewelry and like some sort of accessories, things like that, because I don't own any or many. I might own like 1 or 2 sorts of things. You guys, if you watch my videos all the time, you'll notice that I don't really change my jewelry at all, and it's just because this is pretty much all that I own. I buy like one thing and I wear it until it is absolutely dead, and then I replace it. So I am going to treat myself a little bit in that space in the coming months, but my big spending areas, my issue areas, are the ones that we're putting a blanket no buy on. So when it does come to me spending money, like for things like jewelry or accessories or something along those lines, I am first of all limiting myself to buying 1 to 2 items a month, or buying from one brand a month. Hello, do you agree? Yeah. Anyway, buying from like a couple items from one brand, or if it's a bigger purchase, just 1 item per month. And that's it, because I don't need to have a package consistently arriving at the house, which is something that I'm very bad at the moment. I seem to have something in the mail at pretty much all times. Now, like I said, if we do end up buying a house, I will obviously need to buy things for the house, but those are necessities. It's not going to be going crazy and just spending all the money under the sun so that we can have this big bougie house. You know, it'll be what we need to get us started, and the rest can come later at a sensible pace and a sensible time. Also, I'm making sure that I'm looking into brands that are a bit more sustainable, a bit kinder to the planet, because again, I've mentioned it in a couple of videos probably at this point that I'm trying to be more conscious about my impact on the planet in a lot of different ways. So that is kind of lowering my consumption rates completely, like across the spectrum, but also when I am buying something, if I want or I need something, trying to make sure that I buy it from brands that have sustainability in mind or give back to the planet. They donate to animal shelters or animal welfare in some way, looking after the oceans. Things like that are really important to me, so I'm trying to extend that into like outside of myself, into what I consume, rather than just the ideals in my head. I hope that that makes sense. If you notice the little bump in the screen there, it's because this guy's kind of roaming around and he gave you a real good smooch, so everybody say hi Rusty in the comments. Now, in order for me to do these things, I do obviously have to make, a few changes. He's probably going to talk through this whole video, so just have fun with that. I have removed all temptation off my phone. That's my biggest issue, is that when I'm bored, I just doom scroll, and I doom scroll on shopping apps. So all of those sort of apps are like, I had Shein, I had Princess Polly, I do still have my travel apps because obviously I kind of can't impulse spend my way into a plane ticket because I'm not that rich, but I have them there. But things like Uber Eats, like any food delivery apps, all things like that, they are all gone. I have completely removed them from my phone so that I just don't have access to them. Obviously I could just download them, but I'm trying my best to kind of exercise that restraint. And as of filming this video, I have not purchased anything online, so claps for me. I have brought one thing, but it was a birthday present for Mark, so we're not being mean to ourselves about that. Also, like I discussed in my video last year, I'm kind of reevaluating the subscriptions that I have as well. So the first thing I will be cancelling in 2026 is my gym membership, because fuck that. Not against anyone who goes to the gym. I went to the gym actually quite a bit last year, but I've learned that I really prefer exercising outside. I feel like it's better for me, it's better for my mind, and I really want to get into things like swimming and stuff, and my gym doesn't offer that. So I don't need to be paying a membership at a place that I just don't frickin' go. So I'm going to be looking at my other memberships, like I know I have like Disney Plus and things like that. So just making sure that I'm using everything that I'm subscribed to, and if I'm not, I can always end it and come back to it later if I change my mind. It's not a biggie. So one thing I will still be doing is allowing myself little treats, but in moderation. So like last time when I did this, I did blanket no spend, so that was literally nothing ever, and it was really fucking depressing, if I'm gonna be honest. It was very stressful, and then every time I did give in and do it, it made me really upset. So we're just not doing that this time. I want this to be a positive experience where I can learn and actually like come out the other side with different behaviors and different habits, and not just be like, oh my god, thank god that's over when we get to the end of June, you know. So that means that I really like to get like a little matcha and a little like banana bread on my way to work, and I'm still going to be doing that. I'm not going to tell myself I can't, because I work hard for my money and I deserve little treats like that. Little treats that are like less than $20, they make me happy, they're not going to break the bank. What I am going to be doing is just limiting the amount of times that I have that per week, because some weeks, yeah, I do get myself a little treat on the way to or from work every single day, so that might be 6 days a week, you know. What we're going to do is just be a little bit more mindful and maybe limit that to about 2 days a week, you know. So still treats here and there, we're not going full Grinch on spending money, but just again being a little bit more mindful about how often we spend it. And my favourite thing, one of my favourite things to do is declutter, is to get rid of shit. Everybody, when I was in New Zealand, used to be like, you are always selling things, you always have something listed online. Yeah, I do, because I love getting rid of shit. And this is the perfect time to do it, because I am limiting the amount of things that I'm bringing into my life. It should be literally minimal. Almost nothing that I'm bringing into my life over the next 6 months. It is the absolute perfect time for me to get rid of anything that does not serve me anymore. Things that I don't use, that I don't like, that I don't fit. Like my clothing, I have already done that, so yay for me. This should be pretty easy, because it's really hard to declutter properly when you're consistently bringing things back into that space, especially things that you're impulse buying that you don't need, that are like one-time use sort of things, or novelty items that you might use for a month and then lose interest on. So I'm very excited for this over the next few months. Just really going through every single item that I own and thinking about how I use it, how often I use it, is there someone else that could benefit from this more than I could, you know, those sorts of things. And especially at the moment I'm using these, like, for an example, I'm using these eye patches. They're disposable, they're one-time use, they heat up. So take them out of your packet, pop them on, they heat up. They warm your eyes for like 20 minutes, I think, 20-30 minutes. And I use them because I have chronic dry eyes, so they help my eyes like lubricate themselves basically. I hate that term, but that's okay. I use one of these every night. And so I'm just sort of getting through the supply of them that I have, and I'm trying to find an item that would be more of like a replacement for them, something that's not one-time use, something that I don't have to keep replacing, something I can buy once, heat up every night, use it every night for, you know, a year before I have to replace it. Just small things like that. So I'm very excited to kind of really dig into myself and what I need and what I want in my life, and see if I can make it as easy and sustainable and less costly as I can, basically. Two more things. I promise I'm not going to chat your ear off for too much longer, but if you have made it to this point in the video, thank you, I appreciate you. Anyway, second to last thing that I want to chat about is goals. I still have goals that I want to achieve this year that have absolutely nothing to do with money or my like financial status or stability or anything like that, and a lot of these goals are going to mean that I need to spend money, and I'm not going to wait until the second half of the year to be able to tackle these goals. What I'm going to do is just allow myself the freedom to spend what I need to spend to be able to achieve what I've set out for myself. And I know that sounds like base level borderline obvious, but last time when I did this, it was no money spent anywhere, anytime. So anytime I had to do something like that, it became this like big weight on my shoulders that just felt like failure. And I don't want to deal with that this time. So I'm allowing myself that grace because I know I set myself these goals at the end of last year. I know what I want to do. I know how to achieve these, and some of them are going to be pretty costly, like very costly, but that's okay because it's what I want for myself. It's my dream. It's going to make me happy. And isn't that why we're here? You know, like, yes, I'm here currently to save money. That's what this video is about, but I'm trying to save money to do something that's going to make me happy. So spending money in some regard is also okay to make me happy. I feel like I'm rambling, but I'm hoping that that made sense because that one was important to make sense. And the last thing that I am going to do this time around for my no spend challenge is donate to charity. Now, if you guys watched my video where I kind of laid out my 20 things to do before I turn 30, one of those things was to donate $500 to charity. You're not a charity. You think you are. So the way I'm going to do this is that anytime I have this like uncontrollable urge to spend money or something like this, that, you know, that itch that sometimes just doesn't go away, because I feel like we all have them for things that we're a little bit addicted to, and mine is spending money. So if I ever do get that itch that I just cannot get rid of out of my brain, I am going to donate it to a charity, whether it's $10 or $50 or whatever. I'm just going to find a charity or maybe like a GoFundMe or something like that on the internet, and I'm going to donate the money that I would have been willing to spend on an object for myself to a charity or to a person that needs it, because God knows I don't need any more shit in my life, but there are people out there that could use a little bit of help, you know? And just because my initial goal for my like 20 before 30 thing was donating $500, it doesn't mean that I'm going to hit that like $500 total and then stop, because I'm actually doing a fundraiser this month. In February, I'm doing the Super Swim, which is raising money for a children's hospital, I believe. Let me double check. I'll get you the deets. Okay, proper details are, it is called the Super Swim, and I will be swimming 14 kilometers and raising $1,000 for the Starlight Children's Foundation that helps children who are admitted to hospitals. So I will probably have a link for that somewhere. Maybe I'll put it in the description of this video if you guys want to donate any money to that. That would be absolutely amazing. I myself am going to be donating $500 to this because I want to be able to get as close to my goal of 1,000 as possible, and I just feel like if I can provide half of that, then between like my family and my friends and communities, we will be able to reach that goal. That's my hope anyway, and I'm so excited to do it. So even outside of that, I'm not going to stop. Like 500 isn't my limit. It's not like I'm going to hit that number and be like, okay, no more donating to charity, it's all for me now. But I want to give more this year, and I think this is a really good place to start. So firstly, actively involving myself in fundraisers like this, and then secondly, getting my shit together and being like, you actually don't need to spend money on yourself, you could donate that to others. Kind of just using my no spend kind of exercise as a way to hold myself accountable, not just for my spending habits, although yes, that is the main problem here that we're dealing with, but also just kind of like putting myself in the corner and reminding myself that I am very privileged, that I even get to sit here and be like, I've been spending too much money, oh my god, what a problem. Yeah, just don't be a shithead in 2026 is basically what I'm trying to teach myself. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's all I wanted to tell you guys. I'm going no spend. Now, you will still see hauls on my channel and like product reviews and things like that, because like I said, we're still buying stuff. We're just slowing down, being more mindful, so they'll probably come a lot slower than what they have been. Probably. I actually don't I don't have any lined up at the time of filming this video. I think my first one's in like March. Yeah, so look out for that. That's coming in March. Does your brain ever just like turn off and you end up just like... That is it for this video. If you guys made it this far and listened to my rambling, thank you very, very much. I appreciate it. Make sure you leave a like if you liked the video and a comment down below to tell me either how I can do this no spend thing a little bit better, if you've got any tips, because I am very, very open to them. Or if you want to join me, let me know down below. We can check in with each other. You can watch my cats fight. That was almost something, but thank God they're behaving today. I shouldn't have said that. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. If you've got tips, if you've got tricks, if you want to join in with me, we can be a community. We can do this together. Let's save money and not be shitheads. I have ready. We're here to say goodbye. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week at 7 AM Brisbane time on Sunday, because that is when I upload every single week. I see you later, guys. He dodged my kiss. That was rude. That was really rude. Can I have a kiss? Oh.